Good morning, Gateway family and friends. My name is Mark Humphreys, and I'm one of the pastors at Gateway Church here in Merced. You know, if you've been like me, you've been tired of TV and you've been scouring the internet and YouTube and all the platforms to find anything that can pick up your spirit and show you that there's still good news in the world, right? Well, a couple weeks ago, I came across a little video that John Krasinski had made. If you know him, he's the guy that was in The Office, and he plays Jack Ryan, and he wrote and directed and starred in Quiet Place. So he's an actor. That's what he is. Anyway, he decided to put together a little show that he called Some Good News in order to be able to show the good news that's out there, which gave me an idea. I thought, that's a great idea. I could do that. I mean, I'm not like him. I get it. He's far more good in front of the camera, or gooder in front of the camera than I am. You know, he's definitely better looking. I mean, his face, you look at his face and it draws you in and you're like, I like this guy. My face, on the other hand, you look at it and you're like, why is he so mad? You know, my wife says it all the time. I'm not mad, but you know, it's different. He's better shape than I am. I admit that too. So there's a lot of things that we are different, but there's also things that we are the same about. We both want to find good news. His name and my name are both given by disciples who are in the Bible, who get credit for writing a book. I mean, that's pretty cool. He's in the show The Office. I work in an office. I mean, the list could go on, but we don't have time for all of that. Needless to say, we both wanted to be able to figure out good news, and so that's why I'm starting this today. I decided that I'm going to start a show that I call Some Gateway Good News. You can see I made even a banner. I mean, John Krasinski, I love the guy, but he had his kids make it. And, you know, they're beautiful kids, and they did make a beautiful sign. But, you know, I want to respect child labor laws, so I made the sign myself. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mark, that's a masterpiece. I mean, I thought the same thing. I mean, the contrast between black and white, it just says, you know, volumes between light and dark, between good and evil. I mean, it's not a banana taped onto a wall that sold for $150,000 in December, but I still think it's worth something. So anyway, that's the sign that I made, and that's what we're going to do. So enough said about that. We're going to start the good news. So, first story I want to come up is that we have a team of people calling individuals here at Gateway to make sure that they're all connected and they're okay. We have several calls. A couple of them I want to highlight. One is we had a lady that's calling, and she called another lady. And in the conversation, they realized they were sitting in the same section of the church for years and they never knew each other. Imagine that. Well, they got so excited and they become good friends, and they can't wait until we're meeting together so they can actually meet in person. That's good news. Another woman who has been battling cancer in our church and oftentimes can't come to church had sent us an email just before we started having our services, and she wrote this. I want to read it to you. It says, "Thank you to the staff members who call the sick and the shut-ins. Rob Mansfield started calling me when he noticed that I missed church a lot. Because he calls me to check up on me if he hasn't seen me in a while, it made me feel really appreciated by the church and that my presence matters to the church. I've never been to a church that has a staff that does that. He always asks how I'm doing and if there's anything that I need or want. We always end in prayer, and when I hang up, I always feel lifted up, that I'm wanted and I'm not invisible to the church." That's what it means to be able to do the little things like calling and checking up on people. If you're willing to do that, because we have a lot more people we want to connect with, go to our website at www.gatewaymerced.org and volunteer. We would love to have you be a part of what we're doing and be a part of these great good news stories. For another story, and speaking of contributing and being a part of it, we've seen individuals give above and beyond their normal tithe and offerings to be able to help in need. When a few weeks ago I mentioned in one of our services that we're depleted in our deacon fund, which is a fund that helps those in need, many of you responded. And our fund is now, in a month's time, has gone up to $11,000 that's available to help those who have any kind of needs that we can meet. And we've been giving it out as people respond. And so that's because you were willing to give through us to help others. And so we greatly appreciate that. That's good news. For community news, let me share you a story I read from Charles Perea. He's a local UPS driver who attends Gateway. He shared it on Facebook where he said he saw he was delivering a package to Atwater, and the owner offered snacks to local drivers and wrote, "Essential workers, thank you and enjoy with our compliments." Charles posted, "Thank you to the wonderful resident in Atwater for making all the delivery drivers and everyone else feel valued." People, it's the little things that make a difference. And now for a little segment I like to call Rapid Fire Good News. Get ready, here we go. Pastor Al finally has his boot off his foot and kind of walks normal. That's good news. Thursday, I went to Costco in the afternoon and the line took less than 10 minutes. They didn't have half the things I wanted, but still, that's good news, right? The gas at Arco is $2.35 a gallon. You can't go anywhere, but that's really good news. And here's one. The Merced Gateway's news, it's not affiliated with us, so they're just using our name, and I have attorneys checking into the legality of that, but that's okay. They reported that a Merced County investigator was checking Merced stores for illegal price gouging and found none. Of course, they also couldn't find toilet paper or paper towels or hand sanitizers, but still, that's good news. Finally, I am so tired of TV and Netflix that I decided to dig out an old Nintendo Wii we had that has been in a storage for years and I didn't think worked. Well, guess what? I got it working. So now I'm able to sit in my lazy boy and bowl. My high score right now is 210. That's good news. For other good news, last week our children's ministry handed out 183 boxes to families with Bible lessons and activities for kids to do at home. This Saturday, Children's Ministry and Educare are offering the Egg Escape Drive through Easter Bag Pickup. Bags are full of eggs, candy, prizes, activities, and more. Maybe we can't bring you here for Easter, but we can bring Easter to you. Finally, this week is called Passion Week. As Christians, it is a week of remembering the depth of Jesus' love for us by offering himself as a sacrifice on the cross so that we could be freed from the punishment of sin and set free to live eternally with him. We call that gospel message good news. For Good Friday, we not only get together to remember what Christ did for us, but we also get to take communion together after a month of not being able to do so. So grab your bread in your cupboard and your juice in your fridge, or maybe your fine red wine in your wine cellar, and celebrate with us this Friday at 7 p.m. This Sunday, we celebrate that Jesus not only died for our sins, but that he rose again, and the power of death and the grave could not hold him down, and it doesn't hold us down either. Easter is a message of victory and the power to live victorious in our life, regardless of our circumstances. That isn't good news. That's great news. Well, there you have it. The first edition of Some Gateway Good News. And that's all the good news I have for you today. And so stay sheltered, stay safe, keep looking for the good news God has placed around you, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.